sometimes when I'm on my side of the man cave, my side of the glass, and then I'll walk to the other side, and I'm surprised when I'm not going over and it's mid-argument. Like it happens all the time. I'll go over and I'll just listen, and Paulie goes, "Yeah, we're discussing this." So I just went over there during the commercial break, and I went, "What do you guys? What's the debate?" Because I heard is the second best quarterback Peyton Manning. Tom is number one. Is Peyton number two, McLovin?
Well, the question is, who's the second best quarterback of all time? Because Peyton Manning's going in this weekend and Tom Brady will be there. We all think that Tom Brady has the GOAT title for at least 30 years now. So who's number two? Does Peyton get into that conversation?
No.
Is there a clear-cut number two then? Is it Montana?
Well, Montana was number one for a long, long, long time. And I don't think somebody has done something that Peyton didn't do enough where you go, he's going to supplant Montana there. Now, we look at the overall stats where you're throwing for 500 touchdowns, you're throwing for 75,000 yards. If that's the case, then Drew Brees is better than Joe Montana. But those guys, Troy Aikman was not about the statistics when he was with the Cowboys. Montana, guys didn't throw for 30 touchdowns in a year. That's why what Marino did in 1984, he threw 48 touchdown passes. That's where people are going, he's doubling what some quality quarterbacks could do. But I don't know if you look at this and go, hey, statistically, Peyton or Drew Brees would be up there. I wouldn't put them above Aaron Rodgers. But I would have definitely Brady, and then I would have Joe Montana. Yeah, McLovin.
I've heard a good John Elway argument before. I've heard good, decent Dan Marino arguments. I feel like Montana is not as secure as Brady as the number one on that list. There's some people who think Elway had a greater career in his own weird way because he had to be like the whole team in a way.
Well, I agree with that, but he lost 3 Super Bowls. That was, and he didn't play well at all. His quarterback rating was under 60, I think. They won 2, and that had to do with a great offensive line and Terrell Davis. But then you get credit for those Super Bowls. Elway, to me, is the best quarterback I ever saw. I just think he had everything. He was an athlete, had an elite arm. He improvised. He probably did more with less in teams going to the Super Bowl. They didn't have offensive players who were all pro players. They had a good defense. But, Montana took advantage of what he had around him, which is what you want great players to do. He was great with a great team. Marino, he didn't get it. He got close. But to me, of all the quarterbacks who played back then who would dominate now, Dan Marino would be the guy. Like it would be embarrassingly great. How if you just put a little bit of talent around him in today's rules with his quick release, Marino it'd be scary. And it was scary back then when he threw 48 touchdown passes because back then he's thrown to Duper and Clayton and they were deep threats. Nat Moore would be his guy over the middle. Jim Mandich, I think, was the tight end back then. But, it was pretty incredible with, and maybe, Mandich may have been with Greasy. I may be, I'm trying to think who the tight end was back then. Was it Rose?
Joe Rose.
Joe Rose,
yep.
Does that sound right? Yeah.
Wasn't there like a Mickey Schuler? Am I making that name up?
Yeah, he played for the Jets out of Penn State.
I get those two teams, like the Freeman McNeil Jets. What about Mahomes is the most talented? Are you ready to look at him in that conversation yet?
Well, talent is different than best. Because I can look at Mahomes in the Super Bowl, and he hasn't been great in the Super Bowl. Now, they won one, lost one. Talent-wise, he has everything you would want in a quarterback. And he also has a quarterback or a head coach that is so beneficial to a quarterback. And he's got maybe the best tight end of all time, and he's got maybe, one of the most dangerous players of all time in Tyreek Hill. You throw that in, they bolster their line, and you expect him to be competing for more Super Bowls. But the number 2, I would say it's still Montana because I don't know if somebody has done enough where they're going to knock him off that perch. Yeah, Paul.
Montana's Super Bowl stats, I got him at 12 touchdowns, no interceptions in 4 Super Bowls. Quarterback rating of 127.
Yeah. The fact that you don't throw an interception in the Super Bowl and you go 4 for 4. I mean, it's like Jordan going 6 for 6, but doing this in the NFL, a little bit tougher. And, beating Elway. I mean, they did have 2 of those wins against my Cincinnati Bengals, but still, you won the Super Bowl. We'll settle on the poll question, McLovin.
I actually put up, without your permission, the second best quarterback poll question, and I took NFL.com's list.
Okay.
It's Montana, Elway, Peyton Manning, who's number 3 on their list, actually, Dan Marino, and Johnny Unitas, or is that too old school?
Different era.
Yeah.
But Johnny Unitas probably had more of an impact on quarterbacks than any other quarterback in history. I mean, he created the 2-minute drill. I think what Johnny U did, he was ahead of his time. He would have been, a modern day quarterback. He would have flourished. You look at Bob Greasy or Bart Starr. They were field generals. They wouldn't have been. I don't know how successful they would be in today's NFL. Roger Staubach is the guy I would love to have seen with his talents. See what he would do in today's NFL, because he was so athletic. And, to become a Hall of Famer, I don't think he got to the NFL until he was 28. And Roger was a magical quarterback. His athleticism, and you put it in today's offenses, that would be a lot of fun. Yeah, McLovin.
Paul asked why Drew Brees wasn't on the list. Should I put him on there?
If you want.
Indoors, modern era.
I don't think anybody looks at him as the second best quarterback of all time. I think he's maybe a top 10 quarterback of all time. I think that's fair. They don't have Aaron Rodgers on there as the second best quarterback.
No, they didn't have Aaron. Aaron Rodgers is I think 10 on this list.
Okay.
This is from 2020, so it was a year ago.
Okay, yeah, Paul.
But McLovin, you said the argument would be indoors, modern era. Peyton Manning, indoors, modern era.
True.
Drew Brees' stats are as good or better, mostly better, than Peyton Manning's. And
The line is 2004. That's when numbers started going insane, and Peyton took advantage of that for sure.
And also, the impact that he had on the quarterbacking position is also rivals Johnny Unitas, because Peyton became an offensive coordinator and a quarterback at the line of scrimmage. To go to the line of scrimmage and survey the defense and then call your play. I mean, we had not seen that before. Yes, Eden.
It feels like that list, it starts getting more murky in 3, 4, 5, right? If you were going to say the top 5, 1 and 2 seem to be set. There seems to be a lot more sort of jostling in the 3, 4, 5 era, where you would have, say, Elway, Marino, Manning.
I would have Elway 3. I mean, if you want to have, I could have him 2 on that list. But Montana won 4 Super Bowls, 12 touchdowns, no interceptions. Elway did more with less, but I have no problem if you want to put Joe in there.
Let's move it to the number 3 quarterback. And if anyone else on the show has that, Paul, who's the third best quarterback of all time? You never hear that debate.